Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back. The 49ers have interviewed Robert Saleh and Deshea Townsend for their vacant defensive coordinator position. Obviously, the Saleh interview was coming. The 49ers clearly really want Saleh to return to the San Francisco 49ers to coach this defense. Um, on the other hand, Deshea Townsend, for those of you who do not know who he is, he's the defensive passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach for the Detroit Lions. Both of those guys met with the 49ers on Thursday. They were the first interviews that, the team has announced since deciding that they would be firing Nick Sorensen. Obviously, I think all signs kind of point towards the 49ers getting Saleh back coaching this defense. I don't know what his mindset is on, taking another head coaching job. I think, a lot of guys, it seems like that kind of get fired from certain head coaching roles, besides maybe a handful in the NFL. A lot of these guys tend to take a step back, uh, return to being a coordinator, whether it's offense or defense, and then, waiting a year or two and then trying to get back and to be a head coach again. So I would assume that's probably what Robert Saleh's thinking. However, he is interviewing with the Las Vegas Raiders for their head coaching job. He's also interviewing for the Jags head coaching job. Obviously, if the Raiders and or the Lions, like him enough, they're going to offer him the job. I wouldn't be shocked if he got job offers from both of those guys, but it's also got to be appealing for Robert Saleh and his family. So to be honest, I think the 49ers kind of have the upper hand in that regard. I could be completely wrong, but that's just kind of my 2 cents on that. Obviously, Saleh was fired by the Jets not even midway through the season. He was fired 5 games into the season and then went on to take a consulting role with the Green Bay Packers in the final months of the season. So, again, he is interviewing with the Jags and the Raiders for their head coaching vacancies. However, I do think that there is clearly mutual interest for him to become the next defensive coordinator. I think he's interested in the role. I think the 49ers are looking at Robert Saleh and basically saying, like, this guy is a top of our list. The players loved him when he was here. He can absolutely turn this defense around and get it back to what it once was. Again, he served as our DC from 17 to 20. So about 4 years he was in San Francisco as the defensive coordinator. So yeah, again, like I said in one of my more recent videos, Robert Saleh is without a doubt my top choice to be the next Niners defensive coordinator. I think it's Shanahan's first choice. I think a lot of people in this organization really, really want Saleh to come back. Again, I think there is mutual interest, and we'll see what happens. Deshea Townsend, though, moving on to him. Deshea Townsend, again, he is the Detroit Lions defensive passing game coordinator and also the defensive backs coach. Townsend, this is his first year with the Detroit Lions. Before his current role, he served as the Jags passing game coordinator and cornerbacks coach from 2022 to 23. He was also the secondary coach for the Chicago Bears from 1921. And then he's also had coaching stints with the Giants, Titans, and Cardinals. So that's a pretty interesting name, Deshea Townsend, for the 49ers to be interviewing. I don't know too much about this guy. I think clearly Kyle Shanahan likes, the way he coaches and whatnot. I think, if Kyle Shanahan thinks that he is a candidate for defensive coordinator, I trust Kyle in making that decision. I do think, however, Kyle really wants Saleh first, but again, Deshea Townsend could be a guy that, could be like a backup option. I also want to see them interview Jeff Ulbrich, only if Saleh doesn't want to take the job, of course. I think Jeff Ulbrich would be a fantastic defensive coordinator if Saleh decides to take a head coaching job elsewhere. Now, ESPN does have the 49ers favored to reunite with Robert Saleh. So I don't know. Dan Graziano of ESPN and Jeremy Fowler, they recently discussed, Robert Saleh's future, and they both admitted that they view the 49ers as the leading contender to land him as their defensive coordinator. So we'll see what happens. But again, I think everybody, fans included, want Saleh to become the next defensive coordinator, return to San Francisco, whether it's for a year or two. Just getting him back in the building, him coaching this defense, and trying to get it back to what it once was. I know he's going to, if he comes to San Francisco. I know this defense is clearly going to take a leap forward if he becomes the next defensive coordinator. So we'll see what happens. Again, Saleh still has to finish some interviews for head coaching jobs. Jags, Raiders. I'm expecting him to probably pick up another interview or two to be for some team out there that needs a head coach. Bears, maybe. Maybe New England. However, I do think New England will probably hire Mike Vrabel. That situation only seems right. So, yeah, man. The next coach to take the position would be the fourth in 4 years, following DeMeco Ryans, Steve Wilkes, and Nick Sorensen. So we'll see what happens. However, I do think Jeff Ulbrich, Gus Bradley, maybe even Rex Ryan. I would love to see the Niners interview all three of those guys as well. Last year, again, I said this in one of my more recent videos. Last year, the 49ers kind of put a full press court on Ulbrich to kind of recruit him to San Francisco to be their next defensive coordinator, and the Jets obviously shut the possibility down. Robert Saleh was probably the guy that shut that down. So the 49ers, though, one thing is for certain. They definitely seem to be focusing on external candidates for their next defensive coordinator, which I like. One guy they absolutely better not hire, though, is Brandon Staley. And if they hire him, it could work out. I'm not saying it wouldn't, because I do believe that, a lot of times, it's all kind of situational type of things, like Brian Schneider, the special teams coordinator coach that just got fired. He was in Seattle for like 10 years as their special teams coach. He comes to San Francisco, and it just didn't work out. So if Staley was hired, I'm not saying it couldn't work out. However, I don't see that happening. I think there's multiple other candidates out there that Kyle would probably rather have, including Saleh, probably including Townsend and Gus Bradley and Jeff Ulbrich. So we'll see what happens. But again, 49ers interview Robert Saleh and Deshea Townsend from the Detroit Lions for their defensive coordinator vacancy. Obviously, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. Who do you guys think will be the next defensive coordinator for the 49ers? Will it be Saleh? Will it be a different candidate, another outside candidate? Let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, as always, go Niners, and I'll see you guys in the next one.